Welcome to our rolling news coverage. We will bring you the latest developments on the most pressing stories around the world. Straight ahead.
Event number 1. Escalating tensions. Iran threatens to attack oil facilities in the Middle East in retaliation. Event number 2. The UAE Ministry of Defense released a video intercepting a series of Iranian UAVs and ballistic missiles. Event number 3. Huge fires broke out in the Iranian capital after Israeli airstrikes.
And now, for the details.
Iran has threatened to attack oil facilities in Middle Eastern nations allied with the United States in response to Israeli airstrikes on at least 5 energy sites in and around the capital, Tehran, over the weekend. Iranian military leaders warned that this escalation could have severe economic consequences, including the possibility that global oil prices could soar above $200 a barrel. These statements suggest the conflict could soon expand from direct military clashes to attacks on economic targets across the region. Iran described recent U.S. and Israeli actions as new brutal attacks, targeting its oil, fuel, and energy systems, along with facilities providing services to the public. In their statement, Iranian officials called on governments in the Islamic world to pressure Washington and Tel Aviv to halt the airstrikes on oil infrastructure. They warned that if the attacks continue, Iran could retaliate by carrying out similar strikes on energy assets elsewhere in the region. The Israeli airstrikes on Saturday targeting oil depots and refineries in Tehran marked a significant shift in the conflict. According to reports, this was the first time Israeli forces had targeted Iran's energy infrastructure since joining the expanded campaign with the United States. That campaign began on February 28th, when coordinated U.S. and Israeli attacks kicked off the current phase of hostilities. The Iranian government claims the attacks have killed over 200 people, including Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, and injured more than 10,000. Iran has retaliated with missile and drone strikes targeting Israel, as well as neighboring countries like Iraq, Jordan, and several Gulf nations where U.S. military bases are located. Expanding retaliation to oil production and export facilities would represent a serious escalation. Such attacks could disrupt global energy supplies and potentially draw more countries deeper into the conflict. Countries around the Persian Gulf, which host both U.S. bases and major oil facilities, appear to be at particular risk. As Iran has stated, it could target the region's economic infrastructure if attacks on its territory continue. The warning comes as global energy markets are already experiencing significant volatility due to the fighting. The situation is further complicated by Iran's closure of the Strait of Hormuz, a strategic maritime route through which about 20 million barrels of oil pass daily. Any additional attacks on oil production sites or export terminals could worsen supply disruptions and push the market into extreme instability. By publicly linking their retaliatory threats to the possibility of oil prices exceeding $200 a barrel, Iranian military leaders appear to be signaling that economic pressure could be as decisive as military force in shaping the conflict's outcome. The UAE Ministry of Defense released footage on Sunday showing an Iranian drone being intercepted and destroyed. According to the Associated Press, earlier in the day, the ministry said its air defenses had intercepted and destroyed 16 Iranian missiles, while one fell into the sea. It added that a total of 117 drones were detected, of which 113 were intercepted and destroyed, and 4 fell within its territory. Since the Iranian attacks began, 238 ballistic missiles and 422 drones have been detected. Most of them have been successfully intercepted and destroyed. Massive fires broke out in Iran's capital on Sunday following Israeli attacks on oil infrastructure. According to the Associated Press, Iranian authorities said overnight Israeli airstrikes on 4 oil tankers and an oil transfer station killed 4 people. Witnesses in Tehran reported that the black smoke was so thick it seemed as if the sun could not rise. The Israeli military claimed these oil depots were being used by the Iranian military to fuel missile launches. The Iranian Red Crescent Society said about 10,000 civilian structures across the country have been damaged, including homes, schools, and nearly 36 medical facilities. The agency also warned Tehran residents to take precautions against toxic air pollution and the risk of acid rain following the Israeli airstrikes.